Welcome back to the Aloha Life podcast. I'm Linds Pierce, your host. We're going to talk about budgeting today. And I know some people think that's the B word and they don't love it, but we're going to talk about how it can be a good thing for you and keep your life simple in the way that you want it. So managing finances, of course, can be overwhelming, whether you've got your work, your family, personal goals, but it doesn't have to be complicated or restrictive. I know when I first introduced the budget word to my husband, he's like, no, we don't do that. But it's become a tool to help take control of our money, reduce stress, and build the life that we've always wanted. So we can save up for the things that we want and make sure that we're doing the best for our family. So today we're going to break down some simple steps to create a budget that works for you and your lifestyle. We've had different types of budgeting over the years, so just things we can talk about. So first, let's start with what is budgeting. So think of it as making a plan for your money and make sure it helps make sure that you're not just spending aimlessly, but that you're aligning your finances with your goals and your values. So maybe like a GPS guiding you towards your desired destination. If that's paying off debt, saving for a vacation, building an emergency fund, just it's a plan to get you to a goal. That's all budgeting is. So it's more than just numbers on a spreadsheet. And I've done the spreadsheet way for years and years. It's a way to, one, stay ahead of bills. So no more last minute scrambling to cover your expenses. Two, achieve your goals, from short-term goals to holidays, to long-term plans like retirement. And then just building confidence and knowing where your money's going, reducing that anxiety, and just making it easier to make decisions for you and your family. So some things to help create a budget that works. So we're going to first know your numbers. There's a reason that this is coming out today. At the end of January, you have a whole month to look back and take the numbers from January where you weren't planning or, I got to spend less because I'm going to look at the numbers. Now, you spent how you're going to spend this month. Let's be honest. Kind of feels like you're going back to normal. So use a tool like a spreadsheet or an app or just pen and paper and document where your money went this month. And then you're going to set some goals. So what are you working towards? They can be short-term goals like paying off credit cards, or long-term goals like saving up for a really fun family vacation or a dream vacation, saving up for your savings, things like that. So you want to make sure you set those goals and work as a family to get there. So you can choose a few different budgeting methods. With my husband's work and being in construction, jobs come and go. So we aren't on a regular salary that I can count on and depend on checks coming in, or at least that's how it was when we first got started. And so I went on a percentage. So I knew how much percent needed to go towards each category of our life and make sure that the money was there when it came time to spend it. So of course you're going to want to assign either by percent or by dollar, a zero-based money plan. And that means every dollar that comes in has a job or a category that it gets assigned to. Some people use the 50-30-20 rule, and that means 50% goes to your needs. That means your home, your expenses, things that have to be paid every month. Are you going to lose this vehicle? Are you going to lose this home if you don't pay it? Or your light's going to go off? Is your water going to go off? Those are your needs. 30% is your wants, and then 20% goes to either savings or debt. And so as you get your debt paid off, you can move more of that percent over to savings. I know other people who believe in cash envelope system, and they just get their paychecks, put the amount of money that goes in each envelope, and that's how they do their spending. When that money's gone, it's gone. Sometimes they can borrow from other envelopes, and those help when times come up, but you've got to plan for it. And then you've always got to expect the unexpected. So plan in a buffer for emergencies. I know the recommended is putting an emergency fund of about $1,000 and growing it from there so it becomes a 3-month or a 6-month plan. And then you're going to want to track and review periodically. This isn't something that you can just do one time and at the end of the month, because then you're going to get to where it's just overwhelming. I like to do kind of a weekly check-in and just make sure everything is looked into and paid, or look at what needs to be paid in the next week. So everything's scheduled and ready to go. You're going to want to look at some of the things maybe you're overspending on non-essentials and you're spending too much in your wants category. So you'll want to look at those, put more limits on yourself, and make sure that you pay yourself, you pay your savings, you pay your bills and the important things first. And then what's left over is what you have to work with in the other areas. Something we also forget to do a lot is our annual costs, like something that comes up once a year or once a quarter. You have those subscriptions or holidays that come up, and you want to make sure that those things are built into your budget so that you can put a little bit away each month versus having a huge cost come that isn't expected. And then you do want to make sure you treat this document or this spreadsheet, however you're tracking it, that it's evolving as things come up. So when we first got married, my mom had taught me as a teenager her system, which was on a written out paper spreadsheet. I took that system and took it online to a spreadsheet, Excel spreadsheet, and could work in my formulas and just kind of drag down, pull down, put the money in, assign things where they go, do my reconciliation every couple weeks or so, and then make sure that everything was paid and it was all assigned. So I was kind of a nerd. I understand that. Now they have apps. I like to use the YNAB, You Need a Budget app. And I have written about that before and talked about it before, but is an app on my phone. You can share access with other adults in your home. You can watch it. And it's just an app to make sure that you are tracking and assigning each item as they come in. You can link it to your bank accounts. You can link it to your credit cards. And so as things come up and as the expenses, the money shows that it's gone out. And then you'll see on there like how much you have ready to go to be paid off on a credit card. So you're paying things off, you're paying your bills, and it's all covered in there. So yeah, that's kind of how I've evolved my budgeting from way back when to now. So you want to make sure that you start budgeting today. This is not something you want to wait for or take any more time. So this is why I wanted to make sure that at the end of this month, you got started, you could get going on a budget for yourself. So if you have any questions or you want to talk about what you're doing, I want to hear more, maybe what system works for you. And next time we will be talking about time management. So a few different ways to manage your time, block your time, audit your time, and get smarter with your time. So I hope to see you next week.